Hi everyone, welcome to the workgroup serving benchmarking tools link. The meeting is being recorded. We can start with the notes. If you have any topics, feel free to add to the bottom of the list. Then we can go through those. So the first one I wanted to cover is the naming. There was a poll in the uh, Slack group where people voted for different options. We had all the options listed before here. So far, Inference Perf is winning. I believe it has 7 nodes overall, and the second one is GenAI performance, GenAI serving benchmark. So I think with the voting, it looks like Inference Perf seems like a good name. So we can go with that. If anyone has other objections to it, let me know. We can discuss that. And yeah, there isn't anything on that topic. I think the next one I wanted to point out is that we have a proposal here for approval. Let me quickly share. Yeah, so this is basically the Google Doc that we had before. Um, that's a new proposal in the workgroup serving repo. So this covers all the things we already discussed about how we want it to be, what are the different metrics that we want to collect, and where do we want the report to be, what the name of the tool is, and that SIG scalability is the SIG we want to sponsor this. So all of the information is here. A couple of folks took a look already. We are still waiting for approval from one of the workgroup leads. And then the next step would be basically sending an email to SIG Scalability to make sure they are good with sponsoring this. And then we can go ahead and create the repo and start contributing code. Hopefully, before next week, we have a repo. That's the plan there. And since I touched upon the SIG scalability sponsorship, I wanted to briefly provide an update there. So I reached out to the TL of SIG Scalability, Wojtek. So he doesn't see any issue with it. He overall likes the idea of having this new GenAI benchmarking tool under SIG Scalability sponsorship. So we did discuss something about where it could go and whether we need a new repo or if we can add it to an existing one. We said a new repo would be better because this is different from cluster loader and other benchmarking suites that SIG Scalability has today. So we'll go with the new repo option. I also stopped by in one of the SIG Scalability meetings where I shared this with other folks more broadly as well. One of the SIG chairs was okay with going ahead with the proposal as well. So for next steps and action items, I would say please take a look at the PR here for the proposal itself if you have any feedback on that. But once we get approval on this, we should be able to have a new repo under SIG Scalability. That's the plan. So those are the 3 topics that I had. Does anyone have any topics or any questions or concerns?
I had a question. So I'm actually new to the process. So I was wondering if you could give us some more detail on the sponsorship itself. What does that mean? And
Yeah.
And so I'm from Capital One. So I was wondering how I could work more closely with this project.
Yeah. So on the sponsorship part, basically work groups are by definition just working groups, which is a way for people to get together and come up with new ideas and new project ideas and all that. But they need to be sponsored by a specific SIG, which is the special interest group. We have like a few SIGs, I think 10 plus SIGs in Kubernetes today. The reason for a project to be sponsored by a SIG is because any project that is under the Kubernetes R, we want to make sure it is meeting, like, for example, if there's a security vulnerability, things get patched. If there are like issues for releasing it along with other Kubernetes versions and all that, uh, those things need to be followed, right? It also has good test coverage and all of that. So to ensure that as a project follows all of this, it needs to be under some organizational purview so that you can basically say, hey, for this project, these things need to be done, right? So that's the main reason for sponsorship by a SIG, so that any communication and things for our sub project can come via that SIG, right? Um, and for this case, we discussed about like SIG scalability versus SIG auto scaling or something else. SIG scalability is the one which has similar benchmarking tools and other things in general around performance for Kubernetes. So in that way, our benchmarking tool kind of fits well with that SIG, right? So yeah, that's the reason for sponsorship, and the process itself is to basically make sure uh, the SIG leads and our workgroup serving leads are in agreement uh, on where it should land, and that we have a separate repo and the name for the tooling and everything is agreed upon. Yeah, that's mainly on the sponsorship side. In terms of contributing, I would say, yeah, continue to participate in the contributors thing like the one we are having now. And once we have a repo, it should make it a lot easier, right? Then we can start adding code. We can have discussion in the PRs. We can come up with any changes to how the architecture of the tool should look like, what can go in, and all that. And then through this weekly sync, we can also discuss like pending issues, um, getting unblocked on the code changes and stuff like that too. So I would say, yeah, you're already in the right forum. Once we have a repo, feel free to take a look. Feel free to send out PR, um, things like that. Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Thanks.
Hi, Ashraf. This is Yue. I do have probably not direct questions to the proposal, but I just wonder because right now I know the proposal is already in good shape and is waiting for approval, and I do notice that for most of the metrics we are caring about is more about like those traditional metrics we are looking at for throughput, for latency. I just wonder, like, do we consider to support like the RAG related workflow for this performance benchmarking? Because I know people in this start get people's interest over here.
Yeah. So RAG or other workflows we haven't discussed yet, but I think we should be able to extend it to support other things as well, right? So with RAG, do you have anything specific in mind on the benchmarking itself, on how it has to be different or what kind of new metrics might be needed?
Yeah, I think for this part, it's not, I mean, because I'm trying to look into the RAG workflow right now, try to have some understanding about like what are the major performance matrix matters. So I'm thinking like probably that could be a possible good extension for our existing proposal.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely agree with that. And also, like the sub-project proposal right now is to just greenlight the sub-project itself, so we can have a repo for the tool and then get started on it. What goes into the tool itself is entirely up to us, right? Once we start, we can obviously add more things. We can extend it to support RAG, different workflows as well. And someone in the proposal brought up something around can we make this run with like Kserve or other tools out there, like frameworks which support serving? how we can make it easier to run with that and stuff like that too. So yeah, definitely, I think once we have a solid base for driving benchmarking, I think we can continue to build these on top, add more metrics, more workflows, and so on.
Yeah, sure. That totally makes sense. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions or topics? Samuel, you took a look at the proposal as well. In general, any other thoughts? And also on the naming, is people overall okay with it?
Yeah, I think that the proposal was pretty good. It's kind of pulled from a lot of our discussions, I believe. I think as we get into actually planning out work, there might be more things that I want to add, but I think for now it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, was someone else gonna say something as well? I thought I heard.
Yeah, that was me saying yes to the name. Sounds good.
Cool. Sounds good. One last time checking if people have any other topics. If not, we can end early. Okay, cool. Thanks for showing up and the feedback. We'll see you all next time. Meanwhile, let's collaborate on the proposal itself. Feel free to take a look and provide feedback. Hopefully by next week, we can have a repository for the setup. See you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.